I'm very good, thank you.
The good news, we won't be talking about the ESL in these questions, just the football. So we've seen the team news ahead of the game, 5 key players missing. How are they doing and how much of a blow to be without them?
Yeah, it's unfortunately the situation we have at the moment. They are doing really well, to be fair. They are a little bit ahead of the schedule. We don't expect them for Everton. I think we have the doubt with Martin a little bit. Let's see how he is today in training. The rest will be out and get them as quick as possible back in the team.
It's been a bit of a strange week, to say the very least. How have you managed to keep all your players focused in training?
I'm getting used to it since I joined. It's been a roller coaster, and more things have happened in those 18 months than probably in the last 20 years. Dealing with it, trying to maintain the unity and the commitment of everybody, trying to be clear and transparent with the news that we have, and try to move on. It's been a really challenging week for everybody in world football, but we have to move forward. There's a lot of lessons, though, that we can take from it, and we have to learn and probably reflect and put football in a better position.
And as for Everton, just one place above you in the table, how big is this game in the fight for European football next season?
Yes, again, they're having a really good season. We're not getting the results that we want against Fulham. When the result was disappointing, apart from the performance that, in my opinion, we totally deserve to win the game. But we need to win every game now in the Premier League to give us the best possible chance to be in Europe next season through that competition.
Is it special for you to face a club you know so well?
Always. I had incredible 7 years over there. It's a lot of people that I love, a lot of feelings toward the club, towards the supporters, and always grateful because I had some amazing years there, and we'll never forget them.
4 games unbeaten now. Do you feel like you have some good momentum going?
Yes, I think we do, and the way we are playing as well. But the Fulham game, not winning that game, it was a real shame for us because that would have put us in a much better position. But we have to move on. We're still a lot to play for in the league, and obviously playing the semi-final of the Europa League. So we are all excited about the way we can finish the season.
And will you have the Villarreal game in the back of your mind?
The
Villarreal game in the back of your mind?
No, I think I want to focus just on Everton. We still have more than 5 days to prepare that game, and how we get there, it would depend as well how well we do against Everton, and that's the only focus for the team.
My final question, do you remember the goal you scored for Arsenal against Everton back in 2014?
I do remember, yes.
Penalty.
Usual for me, it cannot be any other way.
Thanks a lot, Mikel. Good luck on Friday.
I know it's been an extraordinary week, one probably you've never experienced before, but can you tell us from your perspective when and how you found out that Arsenal was signed up to this European Super League?
Yeah, I found out just a little bit before that the news was leaked, and then everything was completely out of controls, and the world reacted in a really unified manner. So not really time to think about it, reflect, evaluate or anything, because by the time that was out, a big tsunami already came onto it and basically killed it.
Arsenal as a board have since apologised. Who from the board has spoken to you, and what have they said?
Well, Vinay spoke to me and explained a little bit what was happening, the process just before that was announced, and he was very clear and transparent with me. So I understand the reasons why we could not know. Obviously, we were not involved in the decision, and we understand the logics of it.
Has anyone apologised to you and the players?
Yes. Starting from Vinay, the ownership, and everybody that is involved in the process. All of them with the right intentions to defend the club and put the club in the best possible position for now and for the future, but accepting that the way it's been handled obviously has had terrible consequences, and that it was a mistake. And I have to really respect that when people has genuine intentions to do the best for this football club, but if it doesn't happen, if it's not the right thing to do, they can stand up here and apologize. And I think, I'm talking for myself, I think the players and the staff and everybody working at the club, we have to accept that and move on, because the way it's been handled, I think it's been really good internally.
You've named Vinay there. Was there any communication from Stan Kroenke or from Josh Kroenke directly?
Yes, I had some communication with them as well. I spoke with them yesterday. That communication was in the same terms. And as always, every time we need something and every time that something is happening, they are straight away ready to act, to give the answers that they can do, to give us the support that they can do. And they've done it again.
And was there an apology forthcoming from them as well?
Yes. Absolutely. Obviously, they are the maximum responsibles to run the football club, and this is what they said. Apologize for disturbing the team. We've done that, not having the capacity or ability to communicate in a different way earlier, and explain the reasons why, and pass on my message to the players. And that's all you can ask for. And the way they've done it, I have to accept it completely.
In the past few days, we've seen fans protesting against their own clubs. It's expected that Arsenal fans may protest ahead of the game against Everton. How much damage do you think has been done between Arsenal and their fans? And what do you think can be done to repair that damage? Because is there now a mistrust?
Well, I think this has given a big lessons, and it shows the importance of football in the world. And it shows that the soul of this sport belongs to the fans. And that's it. And during this pandemic, for a year, we've been trying to sustain this industry with no fans in the stadium. But when the fans have to come out and talk, they've done really loud and clear, and they send probably the strongest message that has ever been sent in football world. And every club, leaving their interests apart, have done the right thing, which is they are the ones, we have to listen to them, we put it aside, and in 24 hours they kill the project. So that's a massive statement, I think, for the history of football.
Final one from me, Mikel. There's talk about sanctions against the so-called Big Six, that with the other 14 clubs discussing possible sanctions as well. Could any of the so-called Big Six have any argument if there were sanctions, be it fines, be it points reductions?
I don't know the legal details to respond to that question. Obviously, when you act, when you make the decision, there are always consequences, but I don't know the extent of those consequences. I think here we have to as well understand the principle and the reason why those clubs were trying to achieve something. But if it wasn't done in the right way, yeah, there is always consequences, and we're going to have to accept them if there are.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you.
Can I ask you why you thought your club, among the 6 English clubs, thought it was a good idea to join this European Super League, when if Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich were never going to join it, it was never going to happen?
Well, I don't know, but I know the people who works in the organization, and first of all, they are very caring for the interests of the football club, and secondly, they are very intelligent and professional people. So I'm sure that they have the right reasons to start something, but it clearly didn't work, or it wasn't the right time, it wasn't done the right way, and it was time to step back. And as well, it says a lot about the people who are involved in those decisions, again, to undo something straight away, and show the importance to the people that really have the importance in this industry, which is the fans, and the reason why we are all sitting here.
I think you're right in praising the fans for having their voice and their voice being heard. But the genie, in a way, is out of the bottle now. And I think most people would consider that, be it in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, however long, another proposal for a different Super League and a different guise, maybe correcting some of the problems that this one came up with, will come to the table. And eventually, do you see it actually happening? Maybe, obviously not in this guise, but in another guise.
Football will evolve for sure, like any other sport and like any other aspect in this life, like technology, that the way we interact with each other. A lot of things are going to change in the next few years. What I'm just hoping is that everything is constructive, protecting the well-being of football. The competition has to be the priority, and the passion has to be the priority, and after the rest will take care of himself. And I think if it's done all the time with the right reasons and unifying interest, I think very important achievements can be done. But it will depend. I think now everything is damaged, and everybody has to be working, and we have the responsibility sitting here and you guys there to again rebuild that trust, and put football back in the right place so we can move forward, because the world it's looking at us, and we have a lot to say.
You do, and the fans will have a lot to say, and they may well protest ahead of the game with Everton. The Cronkies have never been the most popular people with the Arsenal fans. How do you think that they can rebuild their trust with the Arsenal fans, or build some trust now going forward with the Arsenal fans?
Well, I can talk with my experience since I was a player, a captain, and now a manager. And we have always had great communication and full support from the ownership. That goes down to every member of the football club. And I think the most important probably way to show it is that in the most challenging period of the football club during this pandemic, the way we have done things and the things that we have reached out as a club, and the commitment that every single person at the club has shown in difficult moments, not just to be there, but when they had to help the club, we were there. And that makes me really proud. The fans have to express is their right, and they have to do it freely. For me, what it shows is the power, that the capacity they have when they show that determination and passion to achieve what they want. If we can use this with our fans to support the team, I think that will be incredibly powerful, and it will make us much, much stronger. So it's time to leave them a space to express themselves, and now somehow we have to engage them again, get them closer to us, believe in what we do, and if we do that, we will be in a much better place.
And just too quickly on the game, first of all, how important tomorrow is not the performance and not the result, but actually getting through the game with Villarreal in mind, with no more injuries?
I want to win the game, and then hopefully that will come as well, Ian, but I don't even want to think about it. We had so many injuries in recent weeks that put the team in a difficult position, but the other players are reacting well, the team is performing well, and let's go and win today. And as well as the best medicine always for everything that happens is win football matches.
And finally, is Everton the most special game for you? I know whenever you play City, we go on and on about your friendship with Pep Guardiola and obviously your time at City. But is the game against Everton because that was your first club here?
It's a very special one, again, for the memories that I have, the experiences that I have, and because I'm really attached to that football club and the people who runs it as well.
Thanks, Mikel. Great speaking to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
I just wondered, did you agree with Arsenal joining the Super League?
I didn't know anything about it. I was informed during the last few months that there were some conversations, but I didn't have any detail to evaluate or to have an opinion on it. And obviously before I could start to read and understand what was happening, the project was dead already.
But is it a concept that you agree with?
I don't understand the concept yet, and how that concept evolves and how that concept allows other participants to join, how this is shared, what's the merits behind it. I don't have the information.
But fundamentally, it is a competition where you can't really get access to the Super League. So a lot of people had a problem with that, the fact that you can't qualify for it.
I think the competition and the ability to participate has to be earned, and that has to be earned on the pitch. And I always believe, and I will defend that.
Do you think that this has shown, based on the club's apology, that communication with fans needs to be improved, that fans need to be brought more into the running of a club like Arsenal?
I think in a club like Arsenal and in football in general, and we have to understand them. And again, as I said before, I don't want to repeat myself. This has shown the importance of the fans in world football, and then they are the soul of this sport.
How much has your squad been affected this week, would you say?
I don't know. We tried to speak to them. We had a conversation with them. Vina spoke in front of all of them and explained what happened. So hopefully they are in a good place. Obviously, it was a big shock for all of us to go through. A lot to read, a lot of opinions, and a lot to digest. But it's not an excuse. We have a game tomorrow. This is the most important thing. And let's go and beat Everton.
There's obviously talk of protest for the Arsenal game, but did you see the protests for the Chelsea's game the other night? And what did you make of that?
Again, that people are and fans are free to express their feelings, and if they decide to do it that way, it's we have to respect that, and we have to listen to them, and World Football listened to them, and that's why they made a decision afterwards to withdraw from that project.
And just last of all, on the game itself, if you lose this game, do you think it's the only way you can qualify for Europe is through the Europa League winning it?
I think mathematically that's possible. We will give it a go, knowing that it doesn't depend on us.
Thank you.
I know you didn't hear about the plans until Sunday, not long before they were announced, but when you first heard about them, were you worried about the reaction from supporters, or did it surprise you?
It didn't give me time to refer Mark to worry it, because I saw the reaction straight away. So it wasn't just what would be my perception. It was loud and clear that no one was having it. So I think by the time it came out, it was already dead.
Did you speak to Pep at all? Because he obviously said earlier this week that he didn't agree with the basic premise of the competition. I just wondered if you thought the same.
I was going to, but again, by the time that that was happening, we didn't even give us time, because we knew what was happening. It was clear that we were going to get out of it, and it wasn't necessary.
He said it wouldn't be sport. Is that something you agree with?
Well, the main reason why we are here is because we have the uncertainty of winning or losing, and we can dream. We can dream about winning against anybody, earning the possibility to be in a better place, and as well the risk of being in a worse place, and that's what it keeps everybody alive.
As a manager, were you concerned when you first saw it that it would be quite a task to make Arsenal competitive in a European Super League?
Well, depending on what the detail was behind it, what resources we were going to have, what was the timing of it, it would depend in many aspects. So difficult to answer to that.
You've praised the club's owners in the past when they've been challenged on spending money or their involvement in the club. Do you feel personally a little bit let down by them about this?
No, I feel very supported by everybody at the club. I feel privileged again, and I would say loud and clear again, the way we have dealt this pandemic internally, with all the issues that we had in recent months, that they've been loads and unprecedented for this football club, internally and externally. I still see everybody coming here with a smile on their faces and proud to represent this football club. And that, for me, is a big achievement and something that I am really proud, because everybody is contributing to that, from the top to the bottom of the club.
Just a couple more. You found out Sunday evening. I just wondered when you first spoke to the players and got their understanding of how they felt about it all, because obviously Hector in particular shared a couple of social media posts saying he wasn't particularly happy about it.
But again, they are free to express themselves. Obviously, we were involved in the process, so you have to respect that when you don't do that, people are going to have different opinions with the information that they can read or guess, and that was the case. Hector made a post, and he was free to do it and express his opinion.
Just quickly, sorry, Mark. Thomas Tuchel blamed Chelsea's poor performance on Tuesday night because he said his players had been distracted. Are you keen for that not to become an excuse for tomorrow night?
Well, I will try to prepare the team the best possible way, so that's not the case. We know that we might have a situation outside the stadium because our fans want to express their feelings, and our job is to try to make the team as focused as possible, just to perform on the pitch.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Mikel.